Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Just a short video talking about what I think is coming in the short to medium term for Tesla's stock price. We have, at some point, we expect Robotaxi and at some point, maybe later, Optimus to start contributing in a major way to Tesla's revenue, Tesla's earnings. Also, Megapack is starting to contribute, and we expect Megapack to make a significant impact. But I think Robotaxi network is the big one that sometime in 2025, Tesla will start operating a Robotaxi network in Texas, California, maybe some other states by the end of 2025. We should see some actual Robotaxi networks operating. What impact does that have on Tesla stock? If you follow the Robotaxi model that I talk about, Stephen Mark Ryan talks about, Cern Basher, several other content creators, we talk about, and ARK Invest talks about this as well. You have people like me, and probably you, we're the true believers on the far side of this chart, on this image that I created. We're a relatively small part of the market, and we are true believers, and we are either all in or heavily into Tesla stock. The green bar is the masses. The masses don't see it, they're not paying attention, and something has to happen for them to trigger them to say, hey, this is a big deal, I should buy into this. And then there's the timers, that's the blue column in the middle. Those are people who see it or think they might see it, what we the believers see, but they're trying to time the market. They figure, well, these green people are going to jump in at some point. We want to get in just ahead of the green people. We know the market's going to start driving the value of the stock up at some point. We want to wait until just before to get in because that optimizes in some way. I don't buy it myself. It's like, why would you wait? Just buy in now. If you believe it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But there are people who like to time the market. Maybe they're looking at other stocks and like, well, for this 6 months, I can make more money on this stock. And then I'll get into Tesla when at the last minute. So I, get in on the gains. So if you believe that this is the way things work, then what happens, and let me just show you how it does work. This is the S&P 500 inclusion. That date here, this date here, December 24, it was December 21, 2020, when Tesla was included in the S&P 500. And you can see a very large run up in the stock in the months before because the market started to expect that it would be included. And when it is included, all the index funds, there's massive amounts of S&P 500 index funds that have to buy the stock. And what you can see is 220, the stock has basically been flat since S&P 500 inclusion. So if you wanted to get in on the S&P 500 inclusion, you wanted to get in before. Also, Teslarati reported on this, that tradings were at insane volumes amid impending S&P 500 inclusion. People started buying ahead. They knew that the index funds had to buy, so they tried to buy ahead of the flood of purchases from the S&P 500 index funds. So when you look at these groups, the masses are not buying because they don't see it. And we don't have an S&P 500 inclusion, but we have an event coming at some point, probably in 2026, when Robotaxi revenue starts to show up in the financial statements. And maybe just the existence of Robotaxi networks operating is enough when they see, hey, Tesla's got 1,000 Robotaxis in Texas. Okay, we can see where this is going to go. So the timers, the game that I see is, let's suppose Q4 2025 is the moment when the masses start to buy in. The timers want to get in before the masses get in. So the timers start buying in Q3 of 2025. Now, if you start thinking some of the timers are sophisticated, they say, hey, the other timers are going to buy in Q3. Let's buy in Q2 of 2025. Well, then some of them say, hey, some of those guys are, and there's a sort of a, I don't know if recursive is the right word. You can see that backing out to Q1 of 2025, Q4 of 2024. If you want to get ahead of the wave, you want to get in before the greens start to buy in. But really, if you want to get in early, you want to get in before the timers start to buy in. Now, I'm in. I'm ahead of the timers. I'm ahead of the masses. And, there's a question about how much it goes up and all that stuff. But fundamentally, you can see if there's something that triggers the masses to say, wait a minute, we've been undervaluing the stock. We need to buy in now. There's this big change coming that's going to radically improve Tesla revenue and profits. We've got Megapack doing that. Within a few years, Megapack is going to be more revenue than the company has now. Robotaxi could 10x or more the revenue the company has now. Optimus could 10x that. So as the market starts to figure it out, the green people, the large pool starts to buy in, and the blues try to buy in ahead of that. So my prediction is that we will see a run up in the stock as the Robotaxi network starts to deploy. That, how long before? Probably the timers don't buy until the first Robotaxis start appearing. The greens don't get it right away. The greens don't jump in right then. And then some sophisticated timers say, hey, I think the other timers are going to start buying in here. I'm going to buy in there. Part of the game here is figuring out, well, when are the greens going to start buying in? And is it when they start to see Robotaxi networks operating? Or is it when they start to see it on financial statements? And it may be a little bit of both. So it's not that all the greens, this is an oversimplified model. Some of the people in the masses are going to figure it out at one point. Some are going to figure it out at another point. But if you are a timer, you want to get ahead of all of the greens. All of the people who don't really believe in the stock yet, but they're going to believe it when they see it. So that's sort of how I see how the market might change. And I'm not a timer. I'm in. I'm not waiting for this key moment to buy in. I'm getting in before the timers get in. I'm already in. I've been in since 2016, basically, been buying since then. Not financial advice. My personal approach has been, I believe in the stock. I believe it's going to rise eventually. I don't want to play games. I just bought and hold. I think that's the right strategy. I hope this is helpful to you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Please check out the t-shirts at elonbits.com. Support me on the X platform as a subscriber, or support me on YouTube as a YouTube channel member. Also the Daily Lie, also Patreon. Any support is appreciated. Thank you so much for watching.